Hello viewers, I welcome you all in this today's very important discussion. And as you can see today we are going to discuss the previous year questions of geography. Why is previous year questions discussion very important? This is just because as empirical studies they show us the right way for anything, empirical studies are very important. So that is how previous questions act as empirical studies, where you can understand that what sort of questions and from which sections UPSC is asking the questions a lot. As you know that prelims 2021 is approaching in October month, that is October 10th. So we will be coming with all full previous year questions discussion for all the subjects like polity, economy, environment, science and tech, geography and others. This will help you in understanding the concepts, what are being asked by UPSC every year, and you can also understand the topics which UPSC is focusing on. Obviously, previous year questions discussions are important, but you should also practice the test series as well. So for prelims 2021, we are coming with the test series in few span of days before 2 months of prelims, which will be designed by totally focusing on the pattern of UPSC questions. So let's start today's discussion. Today's discussion will be starting from the question paper of 2010 and it will go on till 2020 in different parts of the videos. After geography video, environment and economy video will be coming up, polity video will be coming up, then economy will be coming up, and you can understand the questions which have been asked with the topic which is concerned and you can get a clarity of them. So let's start today's class. The first question of geography which has been asked in 2010 is that the latitudes that pass through Sikkim also passes through. So this question you can see is a map based question. This is a factual question. There is no understanding as such, but yes, observation is very important in solving such type of questions. When you study maps and atlas, you must not focus on remembering just remembering the locations and remembering the states, boundaries, not all those things. UPSC never asks too much, which is based on a lot of facts. Rather, UPSC asks on basic understanding. For example, let's take this question. If you know that which latitude, you don't need to know the latitude exactly, but you need to know that what is the location of India, where the states are situated, what are the international boundaries which are having boundaries with any if states are, for example Pakistan, for example Afghanistan, your Bhutan is there, Nepal is there, Bangladesh is there, then China is there. So you must know these important facts. Now it is very obvious that Kerala is a coastal state. So if any such question comes where northern India is concerned or the hilly states are concerned, then you can eliminate such options if you don't know a particular answer as well. So elimination method is also very important, and that comes through a lot of practice, that comes through basic understanding of the syllabus and the topics given there. Let's come back to the question. The latitude that pass through Sikkim also passes through Rajasthan, Punjab, Himachal Pradesh, Jammu and Kashmir. It is well obvious that Jammu and Kashmir cannot be the right answer because Jammu and Kashmir is very much ahead. It is, it is the northernmost state which our country has now. It has been into Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh union territories, but in 2010 it was state. So this is how the question has arrived. Now you can get confused between Rajasthan, Punjab, Himachal Pradesh. You should not get confused. Let's see the map first. You can understand it much better. See, this is Sikkim. The chicken neck of India. Now, when we talk about Jammu and Kashmir, see how different is Jammu and Kashmir from here. It is too far. So latitudes are basically the parallel lines which run from west to east. So you have to understand that which latitude is lying with the same states as Sikkim is lying in. So Jammu and Kashmir is definitely ruled out. That is a basic understanding by map also you can understand this. Himachal Pradesh Himachal Pradesh is also too far. It is just, if you know that Himachal Pradesh is bordering with Jammu and Kashmir, so you can understand that Himachal Pradesh and Jammu and Kashmir are ruled out. Now, Punjab is also there in your option. Now, this is also an observation which you need to do, that if you move to Himachal Pradesh, if you are staying in Delhi or if you are staying in any of the western states of country, and if you want to visit Himachal Pradesh, say for example for your vacations, you cannot go Himachal Pradesh without crossing Punjab or without crossing Haryana or without crossing Uttarakhand. These are the three boundary states, and Jammu and Kashmir is boundary with your Himachal Pradesh. So by that mean you can eliminate Himachal Pradesh as well. But yes, if the question would have options like Delhi, if it would have options like Haryana, then you would have been a bit of confused. But it has not kept the option deliberately because it wants to understand your basic understanding, not the absolute understanding of the facts and the positions. So this is how it is. Now, so we have ruled out Jammu and Kashmir, we have ruled out Himachal Pradesh. Punjab also we have ruled out. Punjab is bordering with Himachal Pradesh. It is in a much higher latitude. Yes, Delhi is passing through the latitude which is passing through Sikkim. Uttar Pradesh is also there. Rajasthan is there. Okay. So your option consists of Rajasthan. It will never consist of options like Rajasthan, Delhi, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, because they are too close and that is very difficult. If such question arises, I don't think so that any student other than the geography optional can solve it very accurately. So by the map, what we can understand is that the correct option is Rajasthan. So eliminate the options and you can achieve to the correct option. So this is how map-based questions are needed to be solved. Now, one more thing I want to tell you that, the questions which are asked in geography and environment and ecology, they have increased from, the numbers of questions have increased from last 4-5 years. So after the mergence of civil services with forest services, what we have seen is that the number of questions which are asked from geography and environment subjects, they have drastically increased. Because forest services officers, they also need to have a great knowledge of environment and geography because their service requirement is such. So don't neglect geography, environment, all these sections, because these are very important sections. You can see that around 1/3 of the questions every year they are asked from environment and geography combined. So you being in the selected list for the mains examination or not depends largely on subjects like geography, environment, polity. You cannot neglect these subjects. History. You should be very thorough with these subjects and the contents and the questions. Okay, let's look over to the next question now. Next question is question number 2. The question is that if there were no Himalayas, okay, what would have been the most likely geographical impact on India? There can be several geographical impacts, but you have been asked that what is the most likely impact, most likely geographical impact. Okay, so let's look over to the options. Much of the country would experience the cold waves from Siberia. Now, this is a physical geography question. Obviously, location of Himalayas are important, but these type of questions can be understood when you have read physical geography in a very detailed and very good manner. How the cold waves are coming in, what are westerlies, what are easterlies, what are tropical jet streams, what are the different belts, why deserts are formed, why a country receives very high rainfall whereas the just opposite part of that country being on the same latitude does not receive that much of rainfall. So all these factors are part of physical geography, which I'll be personally taking you in the geography classes. So as far as now, let's concentrate on the options which are given. First option is much of the country would experience the cold waves from Siberia. Now, where is Siberia? This is again important. So you can see that in this question, knowledge of your physical geography is also important, plus map understanding is also important. So this is the physical map of our country. Siberia is in the northernmost part. Okay, so these are the Himalayas. As you know that these are Himalayas here. Okay, with a syntactical belt with Namcha Barwa and Arunachal Pradesh. So now Siberia is here. Siberia cold waves are coming from this part. Let's assume this. This is what the question has been asked. Much of the country would experience the cold waves from Siberia. Okay. This part of China and Tibet, this is very cold. Just because of this reason, because the cold waves are coming from Siberia, they are in the high pressure belt. India is this area is lying in the low pressure belt. Again, there is a low pressure area which is formed on this plateau, Tibet plateau. Okay, so this low pressure area is attracting the cool winds from high pressure area, and this area is having a lot of cold waves. Now, what are Himalayas doing? Himalayas are blocking these cold waves because Himalayas are very tall, they are around 8 kilometers in height. So they are blocking these cold waves to enter into the northern part of India. Just see that if you go on the right hand side of the Himalayas, that is towards the China side, it is fully covered with snow. A lot of snowy mountains are here, and even in Tibet area it's very cold. And that is why cold deserts are found there. But when you come to the western part, there's a part where India is lying near Himalayas. So you can see here that during winters we have cold waves in the northern part of India, but the cold temperature, the temperature does not go down. That snowy deposits are found here. So why is this that northern India is not having that much snowfall except the Himalayan states? This is the reason. Because of Himalayas they block the cold waves which are coming from Siberia. So by that we can see that okay, the first option is definitely correct. What is the second option? The second option says that Indo-Gangetic plains would be devoid of such extensive alluvial soils. So alluvial soils, again part of physical geography, how alluvial soils are formed, where alluvial soils are formed, these all things you must know. So Himalayas, they have great number of rivers. Okay, this you all know. All the major rivers, okay, they are originating somewhat from Himalayas only. Take for example Ganga and Yamuna. Okay, this region, this Ganga and Yamuna region, this full region has a lot of population. What is the reason? Because this region is very fertile. This region has fertile lands. So because of fertile land, the population is very high because the concentration of people are very high in these areas. Okay, these areas where alluvial soils are found. So definitely, because of Himalayas, these rivers are originated. And because these rivers have originated, they bring in a lot of sediments with them from Himalayas. And by the course of time, they reach towards their mouth of river, they deposit lots of alluvial soils. So definitely we can say that Indo-Gangetic plain would be devoid. It would not be having such alluvial soils if your Himalayas were not present, because then rivers would not have originated. So this is also a correct option. Let's look to the option 3 now. What your option 3 says? Your option 3 is saying that the pattern of monsoon would be different from what it is at present. Pattern of monsoon. What is the pattern of monsoon? Just a small brief. This is your India. These are your Himalayas. This is your Arabian Sea. This is your Bay of Bengal. This is your Indian Ocean. Okay. This part we know. We understand this geographical feature of our country. Okay. Now you know that there are two branches of the southern monsoon, and monsoon in India is brought basically of the two wind system. First is the southwest monsoons, and the next is southeast monsoon. Now, how these monsoons take place? What is the reason that monsoon always comes in by end of or mid of June? Why monsoon starts at around 1st June over in Kerala and Western Ghats area, and then they come to Delhi by around 15th or 20th of June. As you can see that in Delhi 15th or 20th of June, around this time the monsoons they arrive. So this is one of the branch. Second branch is coming from here, which is going parallel to the coastal areas, and it is hitting at the at the area, okay, that is near Meghalaya. The funneling effect takes place. All these things, funneling effect and all, we will discuss in our classes. So the rains here in the West Bengal are caused by because of the southeastern monsoon, and the rains in the Western Ghats, here Aravallis are there. The rains in the Western Ghats are caused by the southwestern monsoon. These winds, they move ahead, the rain-bearing winds. Obviously, the capacity of moisture reduces as it moves towards the northern India. But finally, when it touches the Himalayas again act as barriers. And that is why the northern India receives rains, the southwestern rains, sorry. Obviously, during the winter seasons also, because of the western disturbances, we receive some rain in the northern part of India. But basically, Indian monsoon is caused because of this fact. Now, the pattern of monsoon would be different from what is at present. It would have been different because there would not have been any blockage by the Himalayas. If that would have been the condition, the rains would not have taken place over here also. The rains would have taken place somewhere away from our country where, where there some blockages might have occurred. Okay, so that is how it takes place. So Himalayas are definitely important for that also. Even Golan Heights, the Tibetan plateau where the low pressure arises and high pressure is there in the Indian Ocean type, and from Madagascar also this high pressure and low pressure things, they matter for the monsoons. These are all detailed things which will be covered in more detail. But as of now, this low pressure is also created by the mountains, Himalayas, and this Tibetan plateau. They attract the monsoon-laden winds towards the low pressure area from the high pressure area. So mountain or Himalayas, they also act as barriers, and they make the rain occur in the northern part of country as well. So third option is definitely correct. You cannot deny this also. So as you can see, 1, 2 and 3 all are correct here. So correct option is option D, that is 1, 2 and 3. You can see by the examples that questions are not totally depending on one aspect, rather geographical features, physical features, the map, locations, all these things are important. You just need to be having a basic idea, and then you can obviously move ahead with the options. Okay. Now let's look over the third question on your screens. The third question is that rivers that pass through Himachal Pradesh are, okay, again this is a map based question. You are being asked that which rivers they pass through Himachal Pradesh. The first option here given is Beas and Chenab. Okay, Beas, as you know, these originates at Beas Kund. Okay, passes through Rohtang Pass. When you see the map, you can understand that Beas Kund, Beas river is originating from Beas Kund, and it passes through Rohtang Pass. And in large part of the districts of Himachal Pradesh like Mandi, Kullu, this Beas river is found. Okay. Now Chenab, this is again found by Chandra and Bhaga river. You all know that. These are again factual things which are important. And Chenab, it passes through Spiti Valley also. Now where is Spiti Valley? It is in Himachal Pradesh. So first option has correct options, for both, but it is given only. So let's look over to the other options also. Second option, what has been asked to you is river Beas and Ravi. Beas I have told you, explained. You have understood that, okay, Beas river is passing through there. But Ravi river is also passing through Himachal Pradesh, some, Mandi district, river Ravi is passing through. Then Kangra is another district to which river Ravi is passing through, and Kangra is in Himachal Pradesh. So okay, so river Ravi and Beas is also correct. So Beas, Chenab, Ravi is correct option. So Chenab and Ravi in third option. Let's see the third option. Now this, you have been asked the other river. It is Satluj. Satluj originating in Mansarovar, near Mansarovar Lake, and Satluj is passing through a very famous hill station, that is Shimla. Shimla is in Himachal Pradesh. It's one of the districts, a very famous tourist destination, Shimla. So this Satluj river passes through Shimla. it it is a very important river of Himachal Pradesh. Even Satluj also passes through Kullu. Okay, so Satluj is also correct over here. So Beas, Chenab, Ravi, Satluj. These 4 are correct over here. Okay, so anyway, the correct option is D. You can just get it by the options. But if you want to consider Yamuna also, Yamuna can distract you. Sirmaur is a district in Himachal Pradesh from where this Yamuna passes. But for example, you get confused about Yamuna. Say for example, you are not understanding whether, you are not remembering, you cannot identify whether Yamuna also passes through it. Doesn't matter. You know this, that all these rivers are passing and these all are only. And no option is having all the 4 rivers, only 4th option is having all the 4 rivers. So by that also, you can just select option D. Beas, Chenab, Ravi, Satluj and Yamuna. If you don't know about Yamuna also, then also you can attempt the questions like this. Okay, so you can see the map, Himachal Pradesh map is there. This is your Chenab river. Okay, this light blue is river Ravi. No, sorry, light blue is river Beas. River Ravi is, where is river Ravi? Yeah, this is river Ravi. This is Ravi river. Okay, then is your Satluj, which is originating from Mansarovar Lake. Okay, and then at last it's Yamuna. This is Sirmaur, as I have told you. This Sirmaur district, Yamuna just passes through this Sirmaur district. Okay, so the Renuka Lake and all is also at Sirmaur only. So this is the map, and just by elimination method also you can understand and you can solve such questions. Okay, next question, question number 4. With reference to the river Luni, which of the following statements is correct? Again, map-based question. You cannot mug up all the rivers. You cannot mug up the tributaries or branches of all the rivers. But river Luni is one of the typical type of river because it gets, lost in the marshes of Run of Kutch. So this is most important peculiarity of river Luni. If any river is in a lot of news, so you should know the tributaries of those rivers, the major tributaries at least, Ganga, Yamuna, Brahmaputra, your Satluj, all the 5 rivers of northern states. Then you should know about Krishna, Godavari. All these rivers, they are important. So let's come back to the question. The question says that which of the option is correct with regarding to river Luni. First is it flows into Gulf of Camper. Where is river Luni? That is important. Map-based question as I told you. And where is Gulf of Camper? That is also very important to know here. Let's look over to the map. This is Indian map. Okay. This is the map of Gujarat. This is Gujarat, and some part of Rajasthan is also, I can put it over here. Okay. This is the larger map which has been shown over here, where river Luni you can see. And this is your Gulf of Camper. Now if you know that river Luni is originating from Rajasthan, and you know that river Luni is merging or getting lost into the marshes of the Gulf of Kutch. Sorry, Run of Kutch. So you will eliminate this Gulf of Cambridge because you know that Gulf of Cambridge is very much at down. So you can eliminate this option. It flows into Gulf of Kutch. Where is Gulf of Kutch? This is where Gulf of Kutch is. And what has been into the next option? It flows into Pakistan and merges with tributary of Indus. No. Luni is not a tributary of Indus. So this also you must know. That is why I told you major rivers and its tributaries, distributaries you must know. Right bank, left bank tributaries are also important at some times. So river Luni is not getting into Pakistan. So if you know this, you can eliminate this also. Gulf of Kutch, again you can eliminate Gulf of Kutch as well. If you have seen the map, so Gulf of Kutch is over here. River Luni is getting lost over here in Run of Kutch. What's the 4th option? It is lost in the marshy land of Run of Kutch. Definitely this is correct option over here. See, some options you can feel that, you know, in some options you can know only one answer you are confirmed on. कुछ options ऐसे होंगे जहाँ पे A, B, C, D अगर आपको दिया है, if you are given with A, B, C, D options and you are not getting which is the correct option over here, what is the best method to eliminate the options which you know that are not correct? उन options को eliminate करो जिन options के बारे में आपको पता है कि ये options correct नहीं है. Say for example, इसका सही option A होगा, but you don't know that A is correct answer. You just know that C and D is incorrect. That is for sure. That is for sure. So what will happen? That you are confirmed that either A or B is your correct option. Okay. उसके बाद में भी don't just mark any option what you feel is correct. There would be one option which will be giving you a gut feeling because of your, you know, conscious or subconscious mind, or you might have read it somewhere, or you might have understood it. So you can go for a smart guess between A and B. Don't go for guess where you are confirmed that A, B, C and D, 4 options, only D you are confirmed that is not correct. You're confused between 3 options. Don't attempt such questions in the first go, because these questions are likely to be wrong, because here 50% chances are there. So even 1/3 of the marks will be deducted. And if you go by probability, mathematical probability also, so the chances are that if you have many questions like this where you're confused between 2 options, after eliminating the 2 options, you are most likely to get positive marks. So positive marks is what is most important in prelims qualification. So definitely, as far as this question is concerned, we have seen the map and we can come to the conclusion that River Luni is lost in the marshy land of Run of Kutch. Okay, let's look at the next question. That is question number 5. Look it on the screens. Dam or lake has been given. Okay, these dams or lakes are given and rivers are asked. Now this is again map-based question. Map-based questions are very important when it comes to rivers, when it comes to national parks, or wildlife sanctuaries, or any other national park which has been recently in use because of some reason or the other. So those are very important. Those maps marking are very important because you can be also asked about the surrounding areas. Peripheral areas में भी question आते हैं कभी-कभी. कोई अगर एक national park के बारे में पूछ लिया है तो you can be asked that what or which are the rivers which are passing through this national park. You can know this only by observation. If you have observed the national park well on your map or atlas through internet or your book, you can answer these type of questions. At least a smart guess would work. But अगर आपने सिर्फ न्यूज़ पढ़ ली कि हाँ ये नेशनल पार्क, मानस नेशनल पार्क न्यूज़ में था, मुझे पता है, सबको पता है कि मानस नेशनल पार्क में वन हॉर्न राइनोसेरस है, वो आसाम में है. Everyone knows that. Do you know anything other than that? Do you know anything more than this? तो ये सारी चीजें कॉम्बाइंड नॉलेज जो है वो आपके प्रीलिम्स में हेल्प करती है. पर्टिकुलर ऐसा कोई नहीं होगा जिसके 70 क्वेश्चंस अगर सही हैं तो उनको 70 क्वेश्चंस के सारे आंसर पर्टिकुलर पता थे. नहीं, दिस इज नॉट द केस. 35 to 40 questions is what everyone knows the correct answer. Rest is smart guess and proper elimination with a lot of practice what you have to do. So these things are very important to be taken care of. Let's come to the question. Govind Sagar, Satluj. Is this right? Definitely. Govind Sagar Dam, it has been formed on Satluj River. यहाँ पे आप देख सकते हो हिमाचल प्रदेश में गोविंद सागर डैम है, सतलज रिवर के ऊपर it is formed. This is गोविंद सागर. And Govind Sagar is a very famous lake, a very famous dam. So you must know about this. Okay? अब ये यमुना सतलज कैनल लिंक है. अब जैसे आपने ये मैप देखा, फॉर एग्जाम्पल आपने सिर्फ इस चीज को देखा, बाकी चीजों को आप भूल गए या बाकी चीजों को आप छोड़ दो. Don't do like that. Keep your observation proper. So you can also understand that ठीक है, यमुना सतलज का कैनल लिंक भी है, इस मैप से मुझे ये पता चल गया. ठीक है, वो कैनल लिंक कौन कौन से स्टेट से पास कर रहा है. वो कैनल लिंक पंजाब में स्टार्ट होता है और वो कैनल लिंक आपका हरियाणा में भी है. आप बाकी देखो और किसी स्टेट में जा रहा है. तो दिस टाइप ऑफ क्वेश्चंस कैन बी आस्क्ड. These are observational type of questions. You have to observe and then you can solve these questions. You cannot be particularly perfect in your work. तो ठीक है, फर्स्ट ऑप्शन इज करेक्ट हियर. सेकंड इज कोल्लेरू लेक, कृष्णा. नाउ दिस इज अ वेरी कंफ्यूजिंग ऑप्शन. This is a confusing option because Kolleru Lake is between Krishna and Godavari. अब आपने अगर मैप देखा होगा नॉर्मली या कोल्लेरू लेक देखा होगा तो आपको ये पता होगा कि चलो किस स्टेट में है, कहाँ पे है, बट वेदर ऑन द रिवर और नॉट, दैट इज डिफिकल्ट बिकॉज कृष्णा दिया है, ये गोदावरी अगर आप मिस कर देंगे तो यू विल नॉट लैंड टू करेक्ट ऑप्शन। अब इस टाइप के क्वेश्चन में क्या किया जाए? गो फॉर द अदर ऑप्शंस आल्सो, एलिमिनेट द अदर ऑप्शंस। ये सही है पता है, आपसे पूछना है नॉट करेक्टली मैच्ड, तो एक ही ऑप्शन होगा जो आपको चूज करना है। सेलेक्ट चूज करो, बाकी करेक्टली मैच कौन से हैं, यू विल गेट दी रॉन्ग ऑप्शन। ओके, उकाई रिजर्वियर, तापी, दिस इज करेक्ट हियर। उकाई रिजर्वियर तापी में ही, तापी रिवर के ऊपर है। अपर तापी आपकी अपर तापी बेसिन ये हो गई, और लोअर तापी बेसिन जो है वो उकाई रिवर वहां पे है इन तापी बेसिन। सो अगेन दिस इज अ मैप बेस्ड क्वेश्चन। अगर तापी के बारे में पता है, रिवर में कौन कौन सी इंपॉर्टेंट लेक्स हैं ये पता है, तो यू कैन सॉल्व दिस टाइप ऑफ क्वेश्चंस। तो उकाई रिजर्वायर तापी इज डेफिनेटली करेक्ट हियर। व्हाट इज द फोर्थ ऑप्शन? फोर्थ ऑप्शन इज वुलर लेक। वुलर लेक कहाँ है? जम्मू एंड कश्मीर यूनियन टेरिटरी में है अभी, ठीक है, और वहां पे वुलर लेक इज अ फ्रेश वाटर लेक। Has been a lake of international importance also. रामसर लिस्ट में है ये, ठीक है। So these are some factual information which you must have. Wular Lake is basically wetland also, तो इसलिए रामसर लिस्ट में है ये। Wular Lake Jhelum, this is definitely correct option. It is in Jammu and Kashmir Union Territory. पहले ये कश्मीर में था Wular Lake, ठीक है। तो अगर आपको ये पता है कि ये सही है, ये सही है, ये भी सही है, ये तीनों तो इजी हैं, there is no doubt that option A, C and D are easy to understand. The only left is Kolleru Lake. So just go with this option. There is no harm if you know other three options. You can go with this. Kolleru is between Krishna and Godavari. Where is Krishna and Godavari? This is, yeah, you can see on this map. इस मैप में आप देख सकते हैं ये कृष्णा डेल्टा है, ये गोदावरी डेल्टा है, और ये आपका कोल्लेरू। दिस इज योर कोल्लेरू लेक, दिस इज कोल्लेरू लेक। ओके, दिस इज योर वुलर लेक। रिवर झेलम इज गोइंग एंड वुलर लेक इज फॉर्म, अगेन झेलम इज कमिंग बैक, ठीक है। तो ये सारी चीजें थोड़ा सा, वुलर लेक, डल लेक, ये सब इंपॉर्टेंट है, तो इन सारी चीजों के बारे में थोड़ा सा फैक्चुअल नॉलेज आपको होनी चाहिए। जब मैं ज्योग्राफी की क्लासेस दूंगा, I'll provide all these notes and I will explain you all these things. There's no problem at all. Okay, next look over to the next question. Question number 6 on your screens. In India, which type of forest among the following occupies the largest area? This is a question which is based on your general understanding. जरूरी नहीं है कि आपको फैक्ट पता हो, परसेंटेज पता हो एग्जैक्टली कि लार्जेस्ट एरिया किसका कितना, तब आप नहीं बता पाओगे। नो, इट्स नॉट लाइक दैट। से फॉर एग्जांपल फर्स्ट ऑप्शन देखते हैं, माउंटेन वेस्ट टेम्परेट फॉरेस्ट। माउंटेन वेस्ट टेम्परेट फॉरेस्ट जो है, दिस इज फाउंड अराउंड 1000 to 2000 मीटर्स, ठीक है। ये 1000 to 2000 मीटर्स में पाया जाता है। अब 1000 to 2000 मीटर का मतलब क्या हुआ कि दिस वुड बी फाउंड ओनली ऑन माउंटेन्स और हिली एरियाज। ये पता होना चाहिए, ये चीज पता होनी चाहिए। अगर ये पता है और ये पता है कि इंडिया में माउंटेन कहाँ है, कितने हैं, how many mountains or such peaks are there in India where this height can be achieved? What are the important oak है, chestnut है, all these important type of trees are found here. So mountain west temperate forest cannot be the maximum. This is for sure. 100 to 200, you need mountain areas. It cannot be the maximum. India में mountain सबसे ज़्यादा नहीं है, plains सबसे ज़्यादा है. This must be known. Subtropical dry evergreen forest. Now, subtropical dry evergreen forest, this is basically formed by the monsoon winds along the Coromandel coast. Subtropical dry evergreen, ठीक है। तो ट्रॉपिकल ड्राई एवरग्रीन ये है, ये कोरोमंडल कोस्ट के पास आपका ये पोर्शन, बेसिकली सम पोर्शंस ऑफ दिस आल्सो This is where it is found. Now, this is again not too much, so this cannot be the maximum. Subtropical dry evergreen forest. This cannot be the maximum. These are found in Coromandel coast only, these type of forests. Sixth है tropical moist deciduous. Now this tropical moist deciduous forest, these are the maximum found because these type of forests, they are the mixture of trees plus grasses. Normally trees और grasses जो अपने होते हैं ना, tropical moist deciduous कहीं भी पाए जाते हैं. Tropical क्यों है? Moist और deciduous. Moist मतलब there is some amount of water content. माने ट्रांजिशन जोन पे है, ना तो वेस्टर्न मार्जिन्स में है ना ईस्टर्न मार्जिन्स में है, बीच के ट्रांजिशन जोन में है. बीच का मतलब मेन लैंड जो है, इंडियन मेन लैंड, उसमें दिस टाइप ऑफ फॉरेस्ट आर फाउंड एंड दीस टाइप ऑफ फॉरेस्ट आर अराउंड 40% इन एरिया. दिस इज जस्ट फॉर योर अंडरस्टैंडिंग. अगेन आई से नॉट वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट कि आपको याद ही होना चाहिए. अगर मैप में इफ यू वांट टू सी ट्रॉपिकल मॉइस्ट डेसिडियस, so this is tropical moist deciduous. These are full areas where tropical moist deciduous forests are found. ये पूरा ट्रॉपिकल मॉइस्ट डिसिडियस. ठीक है, अगर आप देखोगे तो ट्रॉपिकल मॉइस्ट डिसिडियस इज फाउंड इन द ट्रांजिशन जोन बिटवीन एवरग्रीन फॉरेस्ट एंड ड्राई डिसिडियस फॉरेस्ट. उसके बीच में ट्रॉपिकल होगा, क्योंकि जैसे मान लीजिए ये मैं इस तरह से बना देता हूँ. दिस इज फॉर एग्जाम्पल योर वेस्टर्न घाट्स एरिया. ठीक है, यहाँ पे क्या होगा? एवरग्रीन फॉरेस्ट होंगे because of huge rainfall. ठीक है, यहाँ पे क्या होगा? If this is Western Ghats, this would be your dry tropical forest. ठीक, अब tropical dry और wet के बीच में क्या होगा? Moist होगा. यहाँ पे थोड़ा बहुत moisture होगा. So this way also you can understand the type of vegetation. So this vegetation is the maximum found. And tropical wet evergreen forest. Now wet evergreen forest मतलब क्या है? कि every time greenery is there, huge rainfall. This is understood. Which are the areas where these huge rainfalls are found? Some parts of this Andaman and Nicobar Islands, यहाँ पे tropical evergreen forest wet. Then your Western Ghats, some area of Western Ghats near Kerala and some part of Karnataka. Here evergreen forests are found. And this part of नॉर्थ ईस्ट इंडिया, जहाँ पे कि आपका साउथ ईस्टर्न मानसूनल विंड्स जो हैं, these are causing lot of rainfall in the area. Okay, these are also your evergreen wet forests. So in India, evergreen forests are found in Western Ghats, northeastern region, your this Burma, Arakan area, and then your Andaman Nicobar Islands. ठीक है, तो here you can understand that the correct option is option C. बाकी सब are not that much into concentration. So this way you can understand, you can get into the correct option. Okay, now let's move over to the next question. Next question is, when you travel in certain parts of India, you will notice wet soil. Okay, so this question is about red soil. What is the main reason for this color? A very easy question. सच में very easy question. Even class 6-7 student would also know this. There are 4 options. Only one has to be corrected. One is the correct option. But let's look over to the options. At what sort of options are there? Red soils are very rich in potash and potassium. ठीक है. Abundance of magnesium. No, magnesium नहीं होता है ज़्यादा. Magnesium कहाँ पे, किस soil में होता है? Magnesium is found in huge quantities in which type of soil? It is usually found in black soil. ये सब तो देखो facts हैं जो आपको पता होने चाहिए. You cannot, obviously you can understand the crop growth pattern, vegetation types and all, but some facts you should know. जो facts हैं वो पता होना चाहिए. वो one of the fact is that black soil में magnesium ज़्यादा होता है. रेड सॉइल में मैग्नीशियम नहीं होता है, पोटैश और पोटेशियम होता है. देयर वुड बी अ चार्ट ऑफ द सॉइल चार्ट. एक बनाइए आप, उस सॉइल चार्ट में इंपॉर्टेंट जो मिनरल्स हैं, जो इंपॉर्टेंट केमिकल्स हैं वो लिखिए, सॉइल का नाम लिखिए लेफ्ट हैंड साइड में, एंड जस्ट गेट अ टिक मार्क लाइक दिस. यू मेड अ चार्ट लाइक दिस. ओके, this is how you should make it. Write the soil name over here. Red soil, laterite soil. Okay, then is your black soil. Then is your alluvial soil. These are the main soils. इसके अगर आपने लिख लिए और यहाँ पे आपने इस तरह से बना लिया कि पोटेशियम है, मैग्नीशियम है, या कैल्शियम है, या देयर इज फॉस्फेट्स है, ठीक है, इस तरह से आप एक बना लो और जो जहाँ पे मिलता है उसको वहाँ पे क्रॉस कर दो. यहाँ नहीं मिलता है, अगर पोटेशियम मिलता है रेड में तो इसको राइट कर दो, क्रॉस दिस ऑल. ओके, ब्लैक सॉइल है, इफ मैग्नीशियम इज फाउंड, टेक इट लाइक दिस. So this way you have to do some hard work also. So this way you can get into these type of questions. Okay, accumulated humus. No, humus is again very low in red soils. तो ये भी wrong option है. Humus is very low. Presence of ferric oxide is right. Obviously you know this. Ferric oxide की वजह से ही ये red color होता है, जिसकी वजह से this ferrous जो है इसमें इसका color red होता है. That is why rust, iron rust जो होते हैं वो red color के हो जाते हैं, brownish red colors. So ferric oxide is definitely correct option here. But what's the fourth? Abundance of phosphates. This is also wrong. Abundance of phosphates are not found in red soil. Potassium or आपका potash. This is mainly found in red soils a lot, and red soils are rich in these two minerals. Okay. So correct option for seventh question is C. You understand it? Very easy to understand, no problem at all. Next question, question number 8 on your screens. What does the question say? The question say that approximate representation of land use classification in India is. देखो, again ये observational question है. इसमें से अगर क्या फैक्टर्स पूछे हैं? नेट सोन एरिया, फॉरेस्ट, अदर एरियाज. ठीक है, ये तो हटा दो, ये नहीं भी पता है तो काम चलेगा. क्या पता होना चाहिए? बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है फॉरेस्ट के बारे में पता होना. ठीक है, क्योंकि फॉरेस्ट की रिपोर्ट हमेशा आती रहती है. फॉरेस्ट कवर कितना है, बढ़ा कि नहीं, क्या क्या फॉरेस्ट होता है. पहला तो ये पता होना चाहिए कि फॉरेस्ट जो है ये बोथ सेंट्रल एंड स्टेट गवर्नमेंट कैन रिकॉग्नाइज. ठीक है, ये भी क्वेश्चन आ सकता है. दूसरा, 0.5 हेक्टेयर इतनी लैंड ऑब्वियसली एटलीस्ट होनी चाहिए मिनिमम, तभी वो एरिया को फॉरेस्ट डिक्लेयर कर सकते हो, वरना नहीं. दिस इज वन ऑफ द फैक्टर्स. दूसरा, ग्रेटर देन 10% ऑफ ट्री कैनोपी मस्ट बी देयर. ये सब करंट अफेयर्स में आया था when this judgment was given कि फॉरेस्ट क्या है. So these all things must be known. ठीक है, तो 0.5 hectare, 10% above canopy. So this is what forests are. Net sown area क्या है? There are two terms. एक है net sown area, दूसरा है gross sown area. अब ये terms जो हैं, इनके बारे में भी जानना is important. नहीं तो you cannot answer. Sown area से मतलब नहीं है. Net sown area क्या होता है कि अगर एक cultivation हुआ है, cultivation of crop on a land in a given area, ठीक है, पर ईयर बेस. इसका मतलब नेट सोन एरिया जो है वो ऑन ईयर बेसिस काउंट होता है, हर साल काउंट होता है नेट सोन एरिया. एक पीस ऑफ लैंड पे व्हेन यू कल्टीवेट अ क्रॉप ऑन अ सिंगल पीस ऑफ लैंड in 1 year, that is net sown area. What is gross sown area? Say for example, on the same land you cultivate more than one crop. मतलब 2 or more crops अगर आप cultivate करते हो same land में within 1 year, तो वो जितने बार वहां पे उस लैंड में जितनी बार भी कल्टीवेशन हुआ है क्रॉप का, वो टोटल जब ऐड करेंगे दैट वुड बी लीडिंग अस टू ग्रॉस सोन एरिया. इसका मतलब क्या हो गया कि ग्रॉस सोन एरिया विल बी ऑलवेज मोर देन नेट सोन एरिया. इफ नॉट मोर देन, एटलीस्ट इक्वल तो होगा ही होगा. अगर हर लैंड में एक ही क्रॉप कल्टीवेट किया गया है इन अ गिवन ईयर, तो GSA will be equal to NSA. Okay, so this is net sown area and this is gross sown area. अब अगर यहाँ ऑप्शन में नेट सोन एरिया दिया होता और ग्रॉस सोन एरिया दिया होता एंड ग्रॉस सोन एरिया 30% दिया होता, डायरेक्टली यू वुड हैव एलिमिनेटेड दैट ऑप्शन बिकॉज ग्रॉस सोन एरिया विल ऑलवेज बी इक्वल और मोर देन द नेट सोन एरिया. Very basic thing, understood? You could have got the answer if that would have been a question. अब वो नहीं है, तो let's focus on this. So this is about net zone area and gross zone area. अभी recently, what is the cover of forest? That is 25%. Around 25% forest cover है right now. 25% से थोड़ा सा ज़्यादा ही है. तो हालांकि ये 2010 का क्वेश्चन है, बट अभी भी फॉरेस्ट एरिया इज समवॉट नियर दिस. ठीक है, नेट जोन एरिया जो है वो थोड़ा सा कम हुआ है. दैट इज कम डाउन टू 45% और समथिंग लाइक दैट. ठीक है, सो दिस मस्ट बी अंडरस्टूड. देन ऑल्सो दिस इज द मोस्ट नियरेस्ट ऑप्शन व्हाट इज करेक्ट. इवन नाउ भी आज भी यही है. इंडिया हैज टारगेटेड टू अचीव फॉरेस्ट कवर ऑफ 33% बाय 2030. ठीक है, तो ये टारगेट है हमारा फॉरेस्ट कवर को बढ़ाने के लिए. वी आर एट 25% राइट नाउ. वी वांट टू गेट इट टू 33% बाय 2030. कैसे अचीव होगा? पेड़ लगाइए. इट इज हैविंग अदर बेनिफिट्स एज वेल. सो दिस इज द क्वेश्चन एंड दिस इज अ बिट ऑफ एक्सप्लेनेशन. करेक्ट ऑप्शन इज ऑप्शन डी फॉर क्वेश्चन नंबर 8. Let's look over the next question, that is question number 9. Okay, question number 9 again is a map based question. Minerals के map जो होते हैं उससे based है ये question. ठीक है, what are the options given? First is copper. It is connected with Jharkhand. Definitely Jharkhand is correct option here, but you should know that copper is maximum found in Madhya Pradesh. That is around 60%. 60% copper is found in Madhya Pradesh. Then it is found in Rajasthan also, around 25%. Rajasthan, Jharkhand में फिर कम है, but ठीक है, ये option you cannot rule it out. Copper is correct over here. Second option is nickel. State given is Odisha. In India, 95% of nickel is found in Odisha. It is also found in states like Karnataka and Rajasthan, but maximum is found in Odisha. Okay. Third is tungsten. Tungsten is given Kerala. This is totally incorrect. Tungsten is found in states like Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh, in Rajasthan also. Here nickel is also found in your Nagaland also. Nickel is found. ठीक है, तो मेजर जो मिनरल्स हैं, जो भी मेजर अपने फाउंड व्हाटएवर मिनरल रिसोर्सेज आर फाउंड ओवर हियर, उनका थोड़ा सा आपके पास नॉलेज होना चाहिए. फैक्चुअल चीजें हैं ये, दिस कैन बी आस्क्ड. यू शुड हैव अ नॉलेज ऑफ दीज ऑल थिंग्स आल्सो. सो केरला हियर इज डेफिनेटली रॉन्ग. कर्नाटका, आंध्र प्रदेश, राजस्थान में से कुछ होता तो दिस वुड हैव बीन करेक्ट ऑप्शन. सो हियर द करेक्ट ऑप्शन इज कॉपर एंड निकल. सो करेक्ट ऑप्शन इज ऑप्शन ए, दैट इज 1 and 2 only. Okay, चलो लेट्स लुक ओवर द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन. क्वेश्चन नंबर 10 on your screens. Question is, Tamil Nadu is leading producer of mill-made cotton yarn in the country. ठीक है. If recently you have seen, देखो observation कैसे बनती है. If you would have recently seen your Family Man 2 series, ठीक है, which is very famous, and I think everyone has seen that. That lady who was part of LTT, that lady was working in a cotton mill. If you remember that scene of a factory where that lady who was, a fighter, who was a pilot, plane pilot also. So she was working into some cotton mill, and that was based in Chennai. ठीक है, तो this is observation. अगर आपको नहीं भी पता है कि whether cotton yarn is really there or not, but still you can relate by your general observations. तो it means Tamil Nadu is having a lot of cotton yarns. But second क्या है, दूसरी चीज आपके दिमाग में ये आनी चाहिए कि तमिलनाडु में तो ब्लैक सॉइल है नहीं और कॉटन ब्लैक सॉइल में ही पाई जाती है, तो फिर तमिलनाडु में कॉटन यार्न्स क्यों इतने पाए जाते हैं? इसका मतलब कोई और रीजन है. नाउ सी हाउ मेनी फैक्टर्स आर कमिंग इनटू प्लेस फॉर गेटिंग अ नॉलेज और इंफॉर्मेशन. First option is black cotton soil is the predominant type of soil in the state. No, it's not. In Tamil Nadu, in Tamil Nadu you will find yellow soil, you will find laterite soil. Okay. Some parts will be alluvial also, some parts, very little parts. लेकिन maximum yellow soil और laterite soil बहुत है वहाँ पे. तो black soil is not there. Cotton yarns are there, but black soil is not there. This is definitely incorrect. इसके लिए you have to know again कि what are the prominent soils which are found. Second option क्या है? Rich pool of skilled labor is available. Lot of skilled labor is available in Tamil Nadu for cotton yarns mills. So they import cotton from states like Karnataka and Maharashtra, okay, Gujarat also, and they produce cotton yarns, and these are then exported throughout the world. ठीक है? So they don't grow cotton. They import it from Karnataka, Maharashtra, Gujarat states where black soil is predominantly found, and then they convert it into cotton yarn, and then they export and they do business out of it. And that is possible. देखो कोई भी इंडस्ट्री कहीं पे भी अगर सक्सेसफुली रन कर रही है, you cannot rule out that that industry has a lot of skilled labor for in that given area. You cannot rule this out. Okay. So this is correct for every industry. It is not only for cotton or Tamil Nadu. This is correct for any industry. अगर आपसे ये बोला जाता है कि jute processing labor, rather jute processing skilled labor is predominantly found in West Bengal, उसी जगह मैं बोलूँ is predominantly found in Jammu and Kashmir. Which option is correct? Obviously West Bengal, because jutes are found in West Bengal. अब जूट अगर वेस्ट बंगाल में है, जूट इंडस्ट्री भी वेस्ट बंगाल में इतनी सारी है, तो it means that industry is surviving because it has a skilled labor. So this is industrial requirement. So second option would be correct for all the such industries and the growth of such industries. You cannot rule this out. So second option is definitely correct over here. That is 2-1. First is incorrect, you can understand. Second is correct option. Okay, let's look over to the next question now. Question number 11. Which one of the following is appropriate reason for considering the Gondwana rocks as the most important rock system of India? बहुत सारे rock system हैं. Gondwana rock system is also one of the part. And Gondwana land, you must have been knowing about Gondwana land, Pangea, Tessisi, the formation of continents, plate tectonics movement, all these things you must be knowing. The Gondwana land में उस समय many fossil deposits were found. Okay, now Gondwana land has lot of fossil deposit. This you should know, and if you know this, rest of the questions can be attempted on this knowledge. Option A. More than 90% of limestone reserves of India are found in them. चलो ठीक है. We don't know whether it's correct or not. More than 90% of India's coal reserves are found in them. ये तो definitely correct. Gondwana land fossil coals, petrol नहीं है, coal है. कहीं petrol coal दोनों होता है. Depends upon the geographical features. But yes, coals are found. Gondwana land कहाँ पे है इंडिया में? That राजमहल गारो गैप में जो राजमहल है वहाँ पे है. You have Gondwana land over there. Then your Damodar Valley. These areas have Gondwana rock system, and that is why आपका रानीगंज वगैरह के एरिया में और झारखंड के एरिया में lot of coals are present because these are part of Gondwana land system. अब this is having only one option. B is so definitely correct. Let's look at another option. More than 90% of fertile black cotton soil is spread over them. No. Black soils कहाँ हैं? Black soils are mainly found in Maharashtra, Gujarat, Karnataka, that areas. ठीक है, तो ये है आपका, मान लीजिए अगर black soil के मैं आपको देखें, तो these would be areas where black soil is very predominantly found. ठीक है, but Gondwana land कहाँ है predominantly? यहाँ दामोदर राजमहल गारो गए राजमहल एरियाज, ठीक है, गोदावरी वैली प्रोविंस, सम पार्ट ऑफ गोदावरी वैली प्रोविंस, सो दीज एरियाज आर वेरी हाई इन कोल. दिस इज रानीगंज, बेसिक व्हाट आई वाज टेलिंग अबाउट, रानीगंज में बहुत कोल्स पाए जाते हैं. सो दिस इज व्हाट यू मस्ट नो. ये इस तरह के क्वेश्चंस हैं, वन लाइनर है. None of the reasons given is appropriate. This is also wrong. So correct option is option B. Okay, this is the map of Gondwana rock system. Rock system में ये सारी चीजें पढ़नी होती हैं, आपको पढ़ाई भी जाएंगी. So this is where Gondwana rocks are found and Gondwana rocks have fossils. ये उसका एक feature है. और coal is a fossil material. Coals are found by fossil deposits. Okay, let's look over to the next question. That is question number 12. Which of the following can one come across if one travels through Strait of Malacca? Strait of Malacca के बारे में पूछा है, मैप बेस्ड क्वेश्चन है. Strait of Malacca जहाँ है वहीं रहेगा, मैप है, तो इट इज अ मैप बेस्ड क्वेश्चन. व्हाट इज द ऑप्शन? बाली, ब्रुनेई, जावा, सिंगापुर. नाउ देखो, these all are somewhat nearby located, एक ही जगह पे सारे कंसंट्रेटेड है. अगर मैप देखोगे आप तो ये जो सारा एरिया है यहीं पे कंसंट्रेटेड है. तो जस्ट नोइंग कि हाँ वहां पे है, दैट वोंट सफाइस. ऑब्जर्वेशन जो होना चाहिए कि भाई स्ट्रेट पूछना है, स्ट्रेट ऑफ मलक्का पूछना है. स्ट्रेट क्या होता है? स्ट्रेट इज अ नैरो पैसेज. दिस इज अ लैंड, दिस इज अ लैंड, दिस इज योर स्ट्रेट. स्ट्रेट इज अ नैरो पैसेज of water body where it has been on the both side it is surrounded by land and two sides it's open water body होगा. ये straight है. Straight की importance क्या है? Trade routes, ठीक है. Straits are important trade routes. If you look over this map also, this is your this is your Strait of Malacca. This is your Singapore. Okay, this is Indonesia. Bali, देखो ऑप्शन क्या क्या दिया है. Bali, this is Bali. Okay, so अगर आपको ये नहीं भी पता है कि on which between which countries you can find Strait of Malacca, so मैप मार्किंग that is very important. अब बाली और जावा, सेकंड जावा दिया है, बाली नहीं है, जावा नहीं है. मैप देखिए आप, जावा, बाली, ठीक है. ब्रुनेई भी नहीं है, दैट इज ऑल्सो अबव. तो सिंगापुर जो है, सिंगापुर इन मलेशिया, दिस इज सिंगापुर इज, यहाँ मलेशिया है. ये है स्ट्रेट ऑफ मलक्का. ब्रुनेई तो कोई सवाल ही नहीं उठा है, बता रहे कि ऊपर है. तो दिस इज द करेक्ट ऑप्शन. मैप बेस्ड क्वेश्चन है, ये करेक्ट ऑप्शन है आपका. सो करेक्ट ऑप्शन इज ऑप्शन डी, दैट इज सिंगापुर. So this is how map based questions are also asked. Strait, अब जितने important strait हैं, अब ये जरूर, this is not important that Strait of Malacca will be asked every time. Strait of Hormuz Strait है, Sunda Strait है, Bering Strait है, Arctic Sea और East Pacific Ocean के बीच में, Park Strait है, Korea Strait है, Hudson Strait है, ये सारा Hudson Bay है. तो all these straits, bays, what is isthmus, ये सारी चीजें आपको पता होनी चाहिए, basic understanding. We will do all these things in the classes, but for those students who are appearing in 2021 prelims, they must go through all these things very quickly because we will be having classes for 2022 as well. Okay, let's look at the next question now. Next question is question number 13 on your screens. Consider the following which can be found in ambient atmospheres. Ambient atmospheres का मतलब क्या हुआ कि normally atmosphere में जो पाया जाता है. First option is soot. Now, what is soot? सूट क्या है? दिस इज बेसिकली अ सॉर्ट ऑफ ब्लैक पाउडर. आपने देखा होगा ना कभी कभी, from chimneys you can see black powders, from even from many of the trucks you can see that black powdered material is coming. That is soot. ठीक है. तो this is basically formed by improper combustion of carbon. Improper combustion जब होता है कार्बन का तो सूट इज फॉर्म. ठीक है. तो सूट इज जनरली फाउंड इन एटमॉस्फेयर, यू नो दिस. सल्फर हेक्साफ्लोराइड, इसकी प्रॉपर्टीज है कि दिस इज नॉन कलर, नॉन odor, non toxic, किसी के साथ react नहीं करता है. This does not react with many of the, and that is why, because it does not react, this is in gaseous form. It is used in large number of electrical insulators also. Electrical insulators. Sulfur hexafluoride होता है hexane 6, sulfur S6F. This is a prominent greenhouse gas. बहुत greenhouse gases जो अपनी global warming है उसमें this is very important. The major role is played by sulfur hexafluoride. So this is also very majorly found in the atmosphere. थर्ड ऑप्शन क्या है आपका? थर्ड ऑप्शन वाटर वेपर है. अब इसको तो कोई रूल आउट कर ही नहीं सकता है कि एटमॉस्फेयर में वाटर है तो वाटर वेपर तो होगा ही. ठीक है, दैट इज H2O in gaseous form. So if you go by, this is again very easy question. 1, 2, 3 all are correct here. Correct option is option D, that is 1, 2 and 3 all. Okay, these all are important greenhouse gases, you must know that. And okay, so D is correct option. Let's move to the next question. Question number 14 on your screens. What is the question? What causes wind to deflect towards left in the southern hemisphere? What is deflection of wind in northern or southern hemisphere? Again, this is it is deflection जो होता है ना, this is formed by Coriolis force. What is Coriolis force? This is an apparent force, okay, because which is caused by the rotation of Earth. This is your Earth. All right. So this Earth rotates. ये तो सबको पता होगा. There's nothing new to tell that. This is your North Pole. This is your South Pole. This is your equator. ठीक. Let's assume this is your east. This is your west. So Earth is moving from west to east. मतलब इस डायरेक्शन में मूव कर रहा है. अब इस डायरेक्शन में अगर अर्थ मूव कर रहा है और if wind has to move, which direction will it move? आप यहाँ पे खड़े हो एग्जाम्पल. This is you standing over here. ठीक है. So if any body is moving in this direction and you are standing at the top and you throw a piece of paper, or if you want to feel that what is the direction of the wind, you can see that if you are going forward, the wind will go into the opposite direction. ठीक है. ट्रेन में आप बैठे हैं अगर, if you throw something from a train window, it goes in the direction of wind. wind की डायरेक्शन में जो होगा उसमें चला जाएगा. डिपेंड करेगा कि wind की स्पीड कितनी है. दैट इज फिजिक्स कि वो 90 डिग्री डिफ्लेक्ट करेगा कि 70 डिग्री करेगा कि 10 करेगा. ठीक है. तो आप यहाँ पे हैं, आपने कुछ फेंका, ऐसे मूव करेगा दिस वे. यू आर स्टैंडिंग ओवर हियर, इट इज मूविंग फ्रॉम this direction to this direction. You threw something, so this direction is moving, air will move in the opposite direction towards the right. तो northern hemisphere में it moves towards the right. ठीक है. अब आप southern hemisphere में खड़े हो जाइए. This is southern hemisphere. आप ऐसे खड़े हैं, you're standing like this in the southern hemisphere. Now it is moving from here to here. Now you threw something over here. तो आप wind की speed, wind की movement कहाँ पे आप experience करेंगे? On your left. तो दिस विल मूव लाइक दिस. ठीक है. कोरियोलिस फोर्स इज 0 ऑन इक्वेटर, तो यहाँ आके ये सेम हो जाता है, कोई ऐसी फर्क नहीं होता. तो ये याद रखिएगा कि नॉर्दर्न हेमिस्फीयर में कोरियोलिस फोर्स जो होता है दैट इज ऑन दी टुवर्ड्स द राइट, और सदर्न हेमिस्फीयर में इट इज टुवर्ड्स द लेफ्ट. दैट हैज बीन गिवन. और ये क्यों हो रहा है? कोरियोलिस फोर्स, अपरेंट फोर्स, बिकॉज ऑफ द रोटेशन ऑफ अर्थ, एंड रोटेशन ऑफ अर्थ इज ऑप्शन सी. सो करेक्ट ऑप्शन क्या होगा इससे? Very easy option. Rotation of Earth. Magnetic field, pressure, temperature has no relation with Coriolis force. Not at all. Other factors are there. Temperature वगैरह की वजह से जो होता है वो हम बाद में पढ़ेंगे. But Coriolis force की वजह से जो Coriolis force का reason है deflection of the wind, that is because of rotation of Earth. Earth अगर rotate नहीं करेगा Coriolis force बंद हो जाएगी. ठीक? Okay, option C is correct, easily understood. Let's look at the next question, question number 15 on your screens. What does this question says? Which one of the following reflects back more sunlight as compared to other three? ठीक है, तो you have been given options of sand desert, paddy cropland, land covered with fresh snow, prairie land. Reflect more sunlight. ये sunlight आ रही है, ये ब्लैक मटेरियल है, ये वाइट है और ये मान लो येलो है या ग्रीन है, ठीक है। ब्लैक जो होगा दिस विल एब्जॉर्ब मोर, दिस विल एब्जॉर्ब, ब्लैक विल एब्जॉर्ब, दिस इज द you know this is the characteristics of light or heat. Black absorbs more, white it reflects more, white does not trap lot of heat. That is why you wear light colored clothes in summers mein you wear pink color shirt, white color shirt, you know, light colored shirt, light colored cotton shirts you wear. But when it is winter you wear black jacket, leather jacket, you know, dark colored jacket you wear because it traps, it absorbs the heat and you feel warm in cold seasons. ठीक है, तो this is the logic. And when it comes to yellow or green, ये कुछ part absorb करेगा, कुछ part it will reflect back. Maximum absorption in black, least reflection in black. Maximum reflection in white, least absorption in white. Some absorption in yellow, green or other color, some reflection in yellow, green and other color. ये बेसिक आइडिया है जो ये समझने के लिए इम्पोर्टेंट है. हीट बजट भी इसी वजह से आता है. When we will be reading about heat budget, we will be covering this part in details in heat budget classes also. First option sand desert. अब आप ये डायग्राम एक बार देख लीजिए. फ्रेश स्नो जो है दिस इज रिफ्लेक्टिंग मैक्सिमम पार्ट अबाउट 80 to 95% एज आई हैव टोल्ड यू. ये मैक्सिमम रिफ्लेक्ट करेगा, लीस्ट एब्जॉर्ब करेगा. एसफॉल्ट ब्लैक टॉप मानी जो रोड्स होती हैं अपनी एसफॉल्ट रोड्स होती हैं, दे आर रिफ्लेक्टिंग ओनली 5 to 10%. इसका मतलब दे आर एब्जॉर्बिंग अराउंड 90 to 95%. एब्जॉर्प्शन कितना ज्यादा है, ठीक है. वाटर में देखिए आप, दी रिफ्लेक्शन इज अराउंड 35 to 50%. इट मींस 35 to 50% के बाद 50% एब्जॉर्प्शन भी हो रहा है. ओके, वाटर बॉडीज इज बिटवीन 10 to 60%. दैट इज द रीजन. मून अगेन इज नॉट कंसर्न. क्रॉप्स, ग्रासलैंड्स एंड फॉरेस्ट डेंस हो जाएगा. डेंस होगा तो ग्रीन कलर उसका जैसा होगा, मैंने बताया आपको. तो क्रॉप्स एंड ग्रासलैंड्स जो है दे विल रिफ्लेक्ट 10 to 25%. Forest will reflect 10 to 20% because maximum amount of sunlight is absorbed in black color and it is reflected the more in white color. So forest will lie in somewhere transition zone. So this is how it is. Sandy desert, paddy crop, land covered with fresh snow, prairie land. देखिए इन तीनों का बहुत नियर बाई ऑप्शंस होंगे जो भी रिफ्लेक्शन ऑफ सनलाइट इज देयर, बट कवर्ड लैंड कवर्ड विद फ्रेश स्नो विल हैव द मैक्सिमम रिफ्लेक्शन एज वी हैव सीन. ठीक है, इस डायग्राम में भी वी हैव सीन. सो वेरी इजी क्वेश्चन, वेरी इजी ऑप्शन. ऑप्शन सी इज द करेक्ट ऑप्शन. यू कैन मार्क दिस ऑप्शन विद नो डिफिकल्टी. ओके, now let's look over the next question. That is question number 16 on your screens. Okay, question number 16 says a geographical region has the following distinct characteristics. Now this is again your understanding type of question है. This is not map based or any other thing. Obviously map based तो geography से अलग हो ही नहीं सकता. Geography is all based on locations. Every factor is based on location. So maps again are very important. But let's see this question. Warm and dry climate. ये factors दिए हुए हैं. Warm and dry climate है, मतलब summers में it is warm and dry. Mild and wet winters. Okay, माने there are winter rains. Okay, there are mild winter rains. Evergreen oak trees. Okay, तो evergreen oak trees का मतलब ये हो गया कि it is somewhat subtropical. ठीक है. Mediterranean, Eastern China, Central Asia, Atlantic coast of North America. These are the options which are given to you. अब rains in winters these are caused in Mediterranean type of climate. Very easy to understand. There is nothing difficult in it. Yes, if you don't know the climatic regions of the world, if you don't know how climates are formed, if you don't know why deserts are found in the western coast of every continent, if you don't understand that deserts are found where moisture is less, where rains are less, तो ये सारी चीजें अगर नहीं पता है तो डेफिनेटली इस तरह के क्वेश्चन सॉल्व करने में डिफिकल्टी आएगी. बट एज फार एज दिस क्वेश्चन इज कंसर्न, लेट्स फोकस ऑन दिस. बाय दिस ऑप्शन यू कैन अंडरस्टैंड दैट इट इज मेडिटेरियन क्लाइमेट. ये माइल्ड एंड वेट विंटर वहीं पे होता है, ठीक है. वार्म एंड ड्राई क्लाइमेट ऑब्वियसली मेडिटेरियन में ही होता है. नाउ एवरग्रीन ओक ट्री सब ट्रॉपिकल रीजन 30 to 40 degrees of latitude में this is found. Okay, now let's look over to the map. This is somewhat, this is your equator, this is somewhat around 30 to 60 degrees, और ये particularly होगा around 30 to 40 degrees. ठीक है. Now this is Mediterranean Sea and this climate is very predominant into this areas, Mediterranean area. ठीक है. Why this is having winter rains? Rains होते क्यों हैं? किस फैक्टर्स से होते हैं? अगर this is equator, again this requires a lot of understanding. आपको explanation this, if I go to explain, it will take around half an hour to 1 hour, because you have to understand that these are low pressure belts. Then low pressure के बाद में equatorial low होता है, ये यहाँ पे subtropical high होता है, फिर subtropical low होता है, फिर polar high होता है. ठीक है. हाई प्रेशर से लो प्रेशर में विंड आती है, डिफ्लेक्शन की वजह से वो ऐसे हो जाती है. यहाँ पे लो प्रेशर है तो हाई से लो अगेन हियर विंड विल कम. दिस इज लो प्रेशर, दिस इज हाई प्रेशर, सो फ्रॉम हियर विंड विल फ्लो टू दिस डायरेक्शन. यू नो व्हेन समर कम्स तो इक्वेटर इट मूव्स अवे, ऊपर चला जाता है समर. तो इक्वेटर व्हेन इट मूव्स अवे, सो बिकॉज ऑफ दिस होल शिफ्टेज ऑफ विंड बेल्ट इज आल्सो done. So winters में क्या होता है कि when winters come, the equator is back. So here what happens is that this low pressure area it goes above. Okay, this low pressure area it goes above. तो यहाँ पे जो आपका high low pressure belt है वो high pressure में बन जाता है. ये low pressure यहाँ आ जाता है. It's very confusing to understand. It needs a lot of clarification. This area becomes your high pressure. This becomes your low pressure. So from low pressure, high pressure winds they move like this, ठीक है, and they cross over Mediterranean Sea and they cross it like that. Winters में यहाँ से they are going from low pressure area and this is sea, this is water. They carry moisture from the water and they cause rain over here in winters. ठीक है, this happens in winters. So because this happens in winters, so this area receives Mediterranean type of climate जहाँ पे winter में rain होती है. And since this wind are flowing, so it brings some winds towards India also. That is why western disturbances की वजह से जो rainfall होते हैं northern India, Delhi, part of Punjab and all, these are very good for wheat crops also. So it's all interrelated. We will get into details also about this when we study about climatic type of the country. And this type of climate is found on the western coast. Even it is found in Africa, maybe south of आपका Cape Town के पास में it is found, in Australia also, everywhere across में it is found. So this Mediterranean type of climate is found throughout all the areas. We will study all these things in details. तो अभी mild and wet winter, warm and dry climate क्यों होता है? Again warm and dry climate इसीलिए होता है because these westerlies they move downwards, and in summers what happens कि ये जो wind laden winds हैं, ये आपका moisture laden winds हैं, वो यहाँ से आना शुरू हो जाते हैं. They start coming from this area. When they start coming from this area, that means ये low pressure हो जाता है इधर, and this is your high pressure. तो ये इधर से flow करना जब शुरू होता है तो क्या होता है कि the winds they are dry winds. Summers में dry winds होते हैं, इसलिए rains winter में होती है, summer में. This is the reason. So by all this explanation, you can very easily understand Mediterranean is the correct option. Eastern China will again have humid rains होती हैं summers में Eastern China. So this can be ruled out. Central Asia, again this is dry in summers and winters both. Winter rains नहीं होते. Atlantic coast of North America. ठीक है, this is Atlantic coast of North America, this area. So this area and this area of China, these are having equal type of climatic features because they both are on the eastern side of the continent. ठीक है, so correct option is option A, that is Mediterranean. Let's look over to the next question. That is question number 17 on your screens. Question is the geographical areas with a altitude of 400 meters has following characteristics. Okay, so it means that 400 meters का altitude है. So it can be either hilly areas or it can be plateaus as well. It cannot be mountains or it cannot be Himalayan mountains या बहुत high mountains नहीं होंगे. 400 meters is you can find many such areas. Western Ghat में, Eastern Ghat में बहुत सारे ऐसे hilly areas हैं जहाँ 400-500 meters के you can find the hills. Okay, so you can see that the characteristics of a natural forest is given. What is the rainfall? What is the temperature? Average, minimum and maximum temperature, that is given over here. And you have been asked that which of the forest it is likely to be. ठीक है. So average maximum temperature is 31, minimum is 21. So this is ranging from 21 to 31. Maximum. Average यही जा रहा है. अगर आप minimum देखें तो भी 20 to 31. This is going. Okay. 20 to 31 का मतलब ये हो गया. Temperature not too low, not very high. Well understood, no problem. Rainfall देखिए, throughout the year rainfalls are occurring. इसका मतलब क्या है? Humidity is very high. And rainfall होने की वजह से the forests are also very dense. Continuous rainfall है, dense forest होगा because every time you are providing water cultivation और जो forest development है वो continue चलता रहेगा. That would be continuous because every year moisture is present in the soil and the environment. Now look over the options. You would have understood what is the correct option, but still look over the option which is given. First है moist temperate coniferous forest. Now moist temperate coniferous forest, they need long winters. ठीक है, and they have those moist forest, coniferous forest में आपने देखा होगा वो pine and fir, juniper, all these trees are found जिनकी needle type की shape होती है. Christmas tree वगैरह भी होता है. Needle trees are found over there. Why needle trees are found? Because they try to save water. Broad leaves नहीं होते इसलिए पतले leaves होते हैं because moisture is not very prominently found in such areas. They are basically very dry. The first is not correct. Second is mountain tropical forest. Now mountain tropical forest जो होता है उसमें temperature is around 18 to 20 degrees Celsius. ठीक है, this is the temperature at normal, and the rainfall that is around 75 centimeters to 100 meters or so. Mountain tropical forest, this would be again found above 100 meters, 1000 meters, sorry, and you are given here 400 meters. तो mountain tropical forest भी rule out ही करना पड़ेगा. Third is temperate forest. Temperate forest will not have such high temperatures. Temperate forest will have temperature from 0 to let's say 18 degrees Celsius. Maximum 18 होगा और 0 होगा. Temperate regions में इस type के forest पाए जाते हैं. तो this is not correct. वो आपका 40 degree to 60 degree latitudes में you can found this, temperate forest. Tropical rain forest. This is correct option. Western Ghats में आप देखिए, not too high. Temperature normally it is between 20 to 31, 32, not too cold because it's near to equator, so temperature does not go below 20. And 31 is what average temperature, maximum average temperature is given. Continuous rains है, तो moisture होगा, definitely moisture is there. Evergreen forests are found. This is very important to note. Western Ghats में, Andaman में, northeastern India, all these areas you will find, evergreen forest. So tropical rain forest जो है, this is definitely correct over here. ठीक है? This is found in such areas, and even in African continent also these type of rainforests are found. Amazon वगैरह में भी पाया जाता है. बहुत dense forest होते हैं. Very dead sort of vegetation is there. Humus is not present, and lot of creatures are found in such type of forest. The trees, they try to reach the top because to get the sunlight, because the canopy is very dense. So all these are the factors, and these are the features which is given, and correct option that is tropical rainforest. Okay, let's move on to the next question. That is question number 18 on your screens. Question number 18 is asking a new type of El Nino called El Nino Modoki. Now El Nino, La Nina, El Nino Modoki, how it affects Indian monsoon, what is La Nina Modoki, all these things are very important. Again, this is a full topic, one day topic, which is important to understand. So as far as this question is concerned, El Nino Modoki has appeared in news in the context given statements are there. First is normal El Nino forms in Central Pacific Ocean, whereas El Nino Modoki forms in Eastern Pacific Ocean. This is definitely incorrect. Normal El Nino is found in Eastern Pacific Ocean, not Central Pacific Ocean, near the Peru coast. That is the area where normal El Nino is found. When the Peru coast, it becomes very warm. This is normal El Nino. Warming of eastern side of Pacific takes place. Whereas in Modoki, what happens? In El Nino Modoki, the warming of Central Pacific takes place, and the Western and Eastern Pacific, they cools. Okay, so these El Nino Modokis, they bring a lot of typhoons also with them. Typhoons and tornadoes, all these things are very prominently found during El Nino Modoki year, when this El Nino Modoki is occurred. When El Nino, for example, if this Modoki is El Nino Modoki is taking place, if this is La Nina Modoki, in La Nina Modoki, what will happen? These two areas will have hot zones, and in center it will be cold. This happens in La Nina Modoki. So El Nino Modoki, La Nina Modoki have a thorough knowledge of all these factors, because questions may be asked from these sections also this year. Okay, so normal El Nino forms in the Central Pacific. No, this is wrong. It is found in the Eastern Pacific, whereas El Nino Modoki forms in the Eastern. This is wrong. It is found in the Central. Okay, this option is wrong. Normal El Nino results in diminished hurricanes in the Atlantic Ocean, but El Nino Modoki results in greater number of hurricanes with a greater frequency. This is definitely correct over here. In the Atlantic Ocean, which is between Africa and America, this El Nino Modoki, they brings in lot of hurricanes, as I have told you. Hurricanes and typhoons, even hurricanes are also occurred. So when El Nino years are there, then Pacific Ocean will have, Eastern Pacific will have El Nino, that is, Eastern Pacific will have El Nino, and at that time, typhoons and hurricanes will not be found. They minimize that. How that happens, that we will discuss. And when El Nino Modoki years are there, then the hurricanes and typhoons, they are very prominent on the Atlantic Ocean region. Okay, so this is correct option over here. So correct, 1 is wrong, 2 is correct. Correct option is option B, that is 2. Okay, let's look over to the next question now. Next question is question number 19. This is again fact-based question. It was very much in news. As per the UN Habitat's Global Report on Human Settlements 2009, which one among the following regions has shown the fastest growth of rate of urbanization in the last 3 decades? Obviously, Asia has shown the maximum urbanization. In last 3 decades means in 30 years, last 30 years, Asia has shown the maximum urbanization. Okay, maximum rate of urbanization. Correct option is option A, that is Asia. That is this question. Not much to understand. Okay, let's look over to the next question now. Next question is question number 20 on your screens. Question is, though coffee and tea both are cultivated on hill slopes. That is true. There are some differences between them regarding their cultivation. Obviously, coffee is very prominently found in areas of Baba Budan Hills, Nilgiri Hills and all these areas. But tea is prominently found in Assam areas and where step farmings are done for tea cultivation in the hilly slopes of Darjeeling. Darjeeling tree is very famous. So you have to consider the given statement. First statement is coffee plant requires a hot and humid climate of tropical areas, whereas tea can be cultivated in both tropical and subtropical areas. This is correct or not? This is definitely correct. Coffee, it requires hot and humid climate, okay? And tea is basically grown in subtropical regions. Coffee is grown in tropical areas as well. Because tropical areas are too much near to equator and you can get humid type of climate throughout. That is why Nilgiri, Baba Budan, these are Western Ghats, and coffee, though the temperature and rainfall requirement for coffee and tea, they are normally basically the same. And coffee, it is grown in the shady areas of the slope, and tea, they are grown with flowing water. Water stagnation should not be there, or else the crops of tree are disturbed and vegetation, it goes waste. So this is one of the difference between coffee and tea. Even coffee cannot sustain a lot of cold and cold and frost temperatures. Coffee cannot sustain. If there is too much cold, coffee plantation will go off. It will die. Coffee plant will die. So it requires humid and dry conditions. Okay. So it needs humus. It needs summer is definitely there, as I've told you. So first statement is definitely correct over here. You cannot rule out the first statement. First statement is correct. Second is coffee is propagated by seeds, but tea is propagated by stem cutting only. No. Tea is also, coffee and tea both can be propagated by stem cuttings. Both can be propagated by stem cutting. Seeds, coffee seeds, tea seeds, stem cutting of coffee also and tea also. Both is done. So the statement is incorrect. One part is correct, second part is incorrect. So 2 is not correct over here. Correct option is option A, that is 1 only. Okay, so this was the discussion of geography prelims question for 2010. In our next video, we will be discussing about 2011 and then we will proceed till 2020. This we have decided. You can join us on our YouTube channel, that is BN by IAS. You can see our website www.bnbyis.com, where you can get a lot of materials, monthly magazines, daily current affairs questions, daily mains answer writing process, editorials, Rajya Sabha TV gist and shows, all are available for free on our website, that is bnbyis.com. You can also mail us if you require any information, and you can also join us on our Telegram channel by searching BN by IAS. So I'll see you next in this session where I'll be having discussion of 2011 geography question discussion. Till then, be safe and take care of yourself. Thank you.